Hey, so today is a very important day for the history of the channel, for the history of my life, and that's because we got our first question down below in the little link there, down in the description. It's like a little form you can fill out to ask for advice or post a question for us to talk about, but the response comes from Fluke, who's also in the Discord, which is linked down below in the description too, but he says, "Hey Palpus, I wanted to ask about low self-esteem. I've been struggling with it since my first breakup, which is going to be a year on the 29th of December. I've made a lot of progress after the breakup, but I can't see it, and I don't know why. I'm my own biggest hater / bully, and it's horrible. But I'm so blind to being kind to myself. You have a way of talking that really resonates with me, so if you could do a topic on this, it would be amazing. Keep up the good work and can't wait to see your future posts." So first I'm going to be a little selfish and vain and say that it's so surreal to hear someone say that they're looking forward to something I'm going to do. And you gave me some really nice comments and then that post in Discord too, so thank you for all that. Anyway, the first thing that stood out to me in this question was a contradiction, and I bet you a lot of people watching know what I'm talking about already. And that's the part where you said, "I've made a lot of progress after the breakup, but I can't see it." Well, I would actually argue that you can see that progress because you just admitted to me that you made a lot of progress since then. The first step to moving on and getting out of a rut is allowing yourself to move on and get out of that rut and see yourself in a more positive light. You have to give yourself permission to forgive yourself and heal your wounds. And that's not to say that you were wrong to have those negative feelings in the first place, because breakups are pretty much the hardest thing that you'll ever have to go through life along with other losses. Science literally says that this is a special kind of hurt in that it releases tons of negative and stress-related hormones, and it can literally cause you physical pain because special people are special people and they build a special bond over time, and I'd say that's ever more true with a significant other. Although it does also say that most people felt significantly better after just 3 months. I think your case is a little bit different, being that it's your first breakup, because that one's truly the hardest, where you learn the most lessons about breakup in general. And depending on how long you dated, a year couldn't actually be that long in my opinion as well. I'm actually somewhere around the year mark of a breakup as well, and I'm feeling about better than I ever have, really. You learn even more lessons from your second, fifth, or even 10th breakup down the line. Don't see the breakup as a complete failure, because it's sort of like you guys entered into a contract together knowing that you would go in and test out everything and see if you guys are the one that is compatible for life, and then if you figure out that's not the case, then you're making the mutually beneficial decision of ending it there and moving on to pretty much find someone else and start the cycle all over. And that's okay. It sounds bad, but that's the process of finding the one that was meant for you. Now, it's naturally a negative experience in and of itself, but the most positive thing that you can get out of this is lessons from the relationship. Chances are that in the relationship, a lot of it was your fault, and then chances are a lot of it was her fault, and then there's an extremely likely chance that it was a little bit of both, right? You need to think back on the things that you could have done better, the things that you did wrong, and fix those things, and then realize the things that they were doing wrong and that they could have done better, and identify those things and be able to see those things when they come up in the future, or be able to avoid those problems in the future when you see the sort of red flag that a person gives you. And lastly, on the part of making a positive out of a negative situation, you shouldn't be sad that it ended or sad that it didn't work out, but rather happy that it did happen in the time that you did get to spend together. And basically, you should go back and ask yourself, if you knew from the beginning that it wasn't going to work out, would you have changed things, right? Would you have not gone through with it in the first place? And if that was the case, then it probably shouldn't have happened in the first place. But I suspect that you have a lot of great memories that you can look back on and have fond memories of, which is good. That's how it should be. However, you need to not let yourself hang on those moments and let them overshadow the red flags and the bad things that happened that caused the relationship to have its downfall. Just remember that it did happen, and it did happen for a reason. Painful times are where you learn the most and you have the most pivotal changes in your life. With great pain comes those great changes. You say that you are your own biggest hater or bully, and that's not really for no reason. Now, I'm probably sure that you're probably being a little bit too hard on yourself, but those thoughts are there for a reason. Remember that the negative thoughts are there to provide you with the motivation to change. That means that you know that something is wrong and that you need to change and that you want to change. So it's a good thing that those negative thoughts are there. The secret to self-esteem or self-confidence is that most people think they're going to achieve that when they achieve some goal or they get some amount of wealth or something like that. But in reality, the reason that your self-esteem or your self-confidence is low is that because you know your potential is higher than what you're achieving right now, you are simply just not doing the best that you can. If the level that you are at right now, if you know that that's all that you can achieve, then your self-confidence would be high because you know you're putting in your best effort day in and day out. I'm going to say it again because it's really important. Your confidence is low because you know that you have potential that you're not pushing to achieve at the moment. Every tiny little positive decision that you make throughout the day leads you to you seeing yourself as a more positive you. Like every stroke of a paintbrush in a painting, every decision and choice you make leads up to the bigger picture that is you. For example, someone who's never read books or something like that, they want to become a book reader. Well, they start reading a sentence every night and then a paragraph every night, and then all of a sudden they become a person who reads books because in their mind they're seeing that progress and the daily proof that they are becoming a book reader, right? When you acquire the daily habits of a gym goer or someone athletic, your mind starts changing from I'm lazy to I am athletic or I am a gym goer. All of those little steps lead to the changes in your self-identity, which is pretty much the cornerstone of improving your life. Lastly, I want to just wrap it back to the beginning and tell you to allow yourself to move on. It's okay to get over something and have it be in the past and finished because you know that it has always happened. That will never change. Victimhood can feel really good, and it can actually be a positive in some ways to get your feelings out there and let it be known, but don't let it consume you because it is a very slippery slope. Also, you will see in social media all around that it's sort of trendy to be a sad boy, right? But it truly is so much better to be a happy boy. You can do it. I hope I helped a little bit.